Fewer Canadians plan to wait for house prices and interest rates to decrease before buying property. That's according to a new survey by the legal software firm Dye & Durham. It found that 20% plan to wait for prices to drop and 21% want to wait for lower interest rates. That's down from 24% and 23%. So if they don't want to wait, how are Canadians planning on entering the housing market? Well, one new trend is that of house hacking, the act of buying a home with others to break down the cost. So what does it actually look like to become a co-owner, and how is it done? Let's bring in Gillian Oxley, founder of Oxley Real Estate. Gillian, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, but not necessarily a new concept in trying to break up home ownership and doing it with someone else.
Sure. I mean, I think the initial time when it started would have been considered a timeshare or fractional ownership. And now this idea of house hacking is how do we take a single home and split it potentially between 4 friends?
Right. So that could be, I mean, physically splitting it floor by floor or what have you. We've also heard about the idea that maybe you co-own the property and then put up a laneway house, and one person gets the laneway house and one person gets the main property, when that sort of thing is now being allowed more, that laneway idea.
Absolutely. I think the idea of density in our city is a hot topic right now. And there's only so many places to build. And if you want to be in the single family home ownership, buying a home with friends and adding another building, an ancillary building, or converting a garage into a laneway house, these are all great ideas.
So if you were considering taking on this sort of a strategy, what are some of the things you should be considering when you're approaching it? I mean, maybe it's even just the person you're deciding to do it with. Any sort of tips?
I think, it's interesting because when you apply for jobs, oftentimes they'll do personality profiles.
Yeah.
So even something like that might be useful. Having an understanding of how long you want to get into it, it's really like entering a bit of a marriage, right? So let's pretend you and 3 friends decide they want to buy a house. You would probably want to set up something like an LLP, similar situation to a law firm, a limited partnership agreement, and have time. Like, are we going to do this for 5 years and then revisit it? What happens if somebody wants to sell and everybody else wants to stay? So really setting that guideline up from the beginning, I think, is key.
So does it complicate any factors, like if you were a first-time home buyer and maybe someone else in the partnership wasn't a first-time home buyer? Would that be something that you'd have to, consider too?
You always ask the best questions. I didn't think about that one.
Yeah. It might be for the sort of tax expert kind of perspective of it. But I mean, when you're talking about timeline-wise of, thinking maybe this is 5 years, and you go into it thinking that maybe things change, maybe somebody gets a job offer and they want to, leave early from this partnership. So how would the sale process work?
Well, again, I think that the basic guidelines would have to be set up first and foremost. And certainly a real estate lawyer and a tax accountant or tax lawyer might want to form that partnership agreement for the friends or whoever it is, maybe cousins or relatives that want to buy together. And then if it's set up in terms of shares, if there's 4 of you and each of you have a 25% share, maybe you have a buyout clause, you'd want to use a real estate agent in order to get a valuation for that house. But you raise a really interesting point, because a first-time buyer would have a different tax benefit in terms of what they have to put down versus a second or third-time buyer. So I'll have to delve into that differently. Yeah,
maybe something to follow up with on social media or what have you. It is interesting too. And then maybe when you're thinking from the realtor's perspective, when you're listing a property like this, you'd have to put all of this kind of in the listing, right? Like this house is for sale, but really it's half a house, or it's it's a quarter of a house.
Yeah, and I think that it could be used as a marketing benefit for an agent, because oftentimes the access point into owning a house in a great neighborhood is impossible for first or second time buyers. So it's an interesting trend. There's a few companies that have tried to do fractional ownership and different online businesses that are growing in this area, but it's certainly an interesting opportunity to get started.
Yeah. Is it something that you're hearing about in the Toronto area in terms of interest or elsewhere?
So I do have friends actually that just did a fractional ownership on a flat in, I guess, a co-op building in New York City, in Manhattan. And I talk a lot about the Manhattanization of Toronto. So because it's already happening there, I definitely see that as a strong trend coming here.
Oh, that's interesting. And maybe that's something more like a second property, something that they're going to go and stay in and visit if it's a small space in the city or something along those lines. I mean, I guess that's more towards the almost a timeshare idea then.
Absolutely.
Or could be.
And I think that in Toronto, when I look at the luxury market, there is a lot more co-ownership or fractional ownership in terms of secondary properties where people have identified maybe they only want to use it 1 month of the summer or 2 or 3 months throughout the entire year. But the obvious trend to move this towards ownership of your primary home, it's something that I think we're going to see more and more of.
Yeah, with prices as high as they are and the expectations that we've been hearing from the industry's perspective, in any case, about prices potentially continuing to climb into this year. Is that what you're, expecting? I know it's a crystal ball kind of thing, but, in terms of the interest that you're seeing, just to start off January even, when maybe it wouldn't be typically the hottest time to be prepping a property, but we've been hearing that people are getting ready for that spring market.
I think we're back to a very traditional market right now in terms of the fact that January was always a prep period and the market kind of swoops up come February, and by March we're all run off our feet. And certainly all the agents I'm talking to are expecting a really strong spring market.
Well,